The Galactic Council chamber floated in the void between stars, a crystalline structure that had witnessed 1,000 civilizations rise and fall. Today, it bore witness to humanity's greatest miscalculation, or perhaps their most elaborate deception. Ambassador Priya Kowalski stood before the assembled delegates, her dark eyes scanning the sea of alien faces. Beside her, Captain Dmitry Okafor adjusted his ceremonial uniform, the metals clinking softly in the artificial atmosphere. They were the only humans present, representatives of a species that had begged for membership in the Council for 3 decades. "The motion is clear," announced Supreme Arbiter Zixthal, its translucent form rippling with what might have been satisfaction. "Humanity has demonstrated sufficient technological advancement and peaceful intent. However, we must address the concern raised by the Krethian Dominion." A massive insectoid creature clicked forward, its chitinous armor gleaming under the chamber's pale light. "The humans claim they fear war," War Prime Kazit hissed, mandibles scraping together. "Yet their history screams of violence. How do we trust beings who wage war against their own kind?" Priya stepped forward, her voice steady. "Honored delegates, it is precisely because we have experienced war that we fear it. We have seen what devastation it brings. Our entire species has united under one banner specifically to ensure we never repeat those mistakes." "Pretty words," Kazet sneered. "But words are wind. The Krethians have observed humanity for 50 cycles. We see your military drills disguised as disaster preparedness. We see your warships called exploration vessels. You fear war, yet you prepare for it constantly." Dmitry cleared his throat. "With respect, War Prime, those preparations are defensive in nature. Surely the Council understands the need for—" "Silence!" Zixthal's voice resonated through the chamber. "The Krethian concern is noted, but humanity has met all requirements. They possess no dreadnought-class vessels. Their weapons are inferior to every council member. They pose no threat." A ripple of agreement passed through the assembly. The vote proceeded swiftly. Humanity was granted provisional membership, with restrictions on military development and mandatory disarmament protocols. Priya and Dmitry exchanged glances. Neither smiled. The Vraxian swarm arrived 3 months later. They came from the dark spaces between galaxies, a hive mind species that consumed everything in its path. The outer colonies fell first, the peaceful Ilithians, whose philosophy of non-violence made them easy prey. Then the Torsian Federation, whose advanced shields couldn't withstand the sheer numbers. The Galactic Council convened emergency sessions. War Prime Kazit proposed immediate military action, but the other species hesitated. The Vraxians were unlike anything they had faced. They didn't negotiate, they didn't retreat, they simply consumed. "We need time to evacuate core worlds," Zixthal declared. "The humans will assist with refugee transport. Their ships are expendable." Priya stood once more before the council, but this time her expression was different. Harder. "We will help evacuate civilians," she said quietly. "But I need to contact Earth first." "For what purpose?" Kazit demanded. "To lift the restrictions you placed on us." The chamber erupted in objection. Zixthal raised a translucent appendage for silence. "Absolutely not. We will not have humans armed during this crisis. Your species might use the chaos to—" "To what?" Dmitry interrupted, his voice cutting through the noise like a blade. "To save you?" "Captain, you forget your place," Kazit warned, moving forward threateningly. Dmitry didn't flinch. "No, War Prime, I think you've forgotten what we are." The Battle of Kepler 442 changed everything. The Vraxian swarm had surrounded the heavily populated colony world, cutting off all escape routes. 3 council fleets had already been decimated trying to break through. The evacuation had failed. 4 billion souls waited to die. Then the human fleet arrived. Not the small, outdated vessels the Council had seen. Not the converted cargo haulers or the patrol boats. Real warships emerged from faster-than-light travel, their hulls scarred from battles the galaxy had never witnessed. The UNSC Defiance, the flagship, dwarfed every Council vessel in the system. Behind it came 50 more dreadnoughts that weren't supposed to exist. Admiral Keiko Hassan's face appeared on every screen in the Council chamber. "This is the United Nations Space Command. We're taking tactical control of this operation." "This is a violation of—" Zixthal began. "Shut up," Keiko said flatly. "Dimitri, Priya, get those civilians to the evac points. War Prime Kazit, I'm sending you targeting data. Your fleet will guard the refugee transports. Everyone else, stay out of our way." The Krethian bristled. "You cannot give orders to— Watch me." What happened next would be analyzed by military historians for generations. The human fleet didn't just fight. They waged war with a precision and ferocity that terrified their allies almost as much as their enemies. They used nuclear weapons in close quarters, sacrificing their own shields to eliminate swarm clusters. They rammed Vraxian bioships when ammunition ran low. They deployed chemical weapons, biological agents, and technology the Council had banned millennia ago. And they were winning. Dimitri watched from the Defiance bridge as human marines in powered armor cleared Vraxian infiltrators from Council ships. They didn't hesitate. They didn't show mercy. They fought like beings who had done this before, many times before. "How?" Kazit appeared beside him, its voice hollow with shock. "How did you hide this?" Dimitri finally smiled, but it held no warmth. "We didn't hide anything, War Prime. We told you we feared war. That was true. But you assumed fear meant weakness." He gestured to the view screen where human ships carved through the swarm. "We fear war because we're too good at it. Because we know what we become when we fight." The Battle of Kepler 442 lasted 18 hours. When it ended, the Vraxian swarm had been completely destroyed. 4 billion civilians were safe, but the galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. Priya stood before the Council once more, months later. The chamber was quieter now, humbler. "You lied to us," Zixthal said softly. "You said you feared war." "We do," Priya replied, "but that doesn't mean we aren't prepared for it. Fear doesn't make you weak. It makes you careful. It makes you remember. Every weapon we built, every soldier we trained, every strategy we developed came from understanding what war costs." She looked around the chamber at the faces of species who had never truly known conflict, who had grown comfortable in a peaceful galaxy. "You thought fear of war meant we would run from it," she continued. "You were wrong. Humans don't run from the things we fear. We face them. We master them. And then we make damn sure we never forget what they taught us." War Prime Kussit clicked forward, its posture different now, respectful. "Perhaps," it said quietly, "the Council has much to learn from humanity." Priya nodded. "Perhaps we all have much to learn from each other. That's what the Council should be about. Not pretty lies, but ugly truths that keep us all alive." The vote was unanimous. All restrictions on human military development were lifted. But more importantly, humanity was no longer seen as the weak newcomers to be protected. They were the species you wanted beside you when reality hit. Because when humans said they feared war, they meant it. They feared it the way a master fears their greatest skill, with respect, with understanding, and with the knowledge that when necessity called, they would answer with everything they had. And the galaxy was safer for it.